there are many challenges, obviously, in our industry. But I think the one that I'm seeing the most at the moment is that increasing tension between generalist agencies and more specialist agencies. And I think this has also a big impact on our ability as a big network, a big generalist agency, ability to attract the right talents. So what we see is that there are more and more specialized agencies, smaller setup that are very specialized, as an example, in influencer marketing or in AI or in automation or any other sort of discipline. And those agencies very often will start by running some sort of pilot with a client, and then the pilot will turn into a longer term project, and the longer term project will progressively eat a little bit the revenue from the broader, bigger agency. So I think that's one of the challenges, enabling that internal transformation inside the bigger group, the bigger agencies, to enable those community of skills, specialized skills, to emerge and to be able to provide this type of specialized services to clients. And I was saying earlier, in my view, it has a direct link to our ability to attract and to retain talents, because we see that we need, in order to continue to grow and to sort of retain that revenue within the bigger network, that is usually something that you find in smaller structures. So perhaps the best situation is finding something in between. We actually see more and more agencies, smaller structure most of the time, that are really positioning themselves as AI first agencies. And we know about several agencies that are now knocking on the door of big clients and big companies to propose AI specialized type of services. So, that's also something that a big network has to pay attention to. And I think most of them are developing bespoke solutions and coming up with specific tools and ways to leverage AI in the work on a day-to-day basis. What I see on my end is, I think that there are many conversations, obviously, about, is AI going to steal our job? Is AI going to replace all the type of talents we need in an agency? I'm not able to see in the future, so I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years or 10 years from now. What I can say is what is happening today. And what is happening today is that, for me, I see AI more as a sort of assistant to the work of existing talents across the entire agency ecosystem. And so if I take the example of my own network, what I find really fascinating is that they have developed bespoke AI tools that are customized specifically for operation, strategy, content creation, content ideation, and performance. And so even if I'm not into creative content, let's say that I'm an account manager, I could still leverage those tools which have been developed using existing technology. So I really like the fact that we are in a space where we can think about some of the business challenge that we face as an agency on a day-to-day basis, and how we can help to solve those challenges with the use of AI. All of this can be, to some extent, solved with AI. And I think that's a very fascinating new space for agencies. So to go back a little bit in the past, so I'm initially from Belgium. When I went for the first time in South Africa, my goal was not to develop an offshoring or outsourcing center. My goal was to launch a local agency inside the network and to be more paid media agency initially. And what I started to discover very quickly when I started in South Africa is that we could find very good talents in the market, not just in paid media, but South Africa has an excellent reputation in the world in terms of creative excellence. We've got a very good strategist, a very good account people, and so on. So all in all, South Africa is a top tier market when it comes to advertising, broadly speaking, and marketing. And so I discover all of those talents in South Africa. In South Africa, we have top tier talents, people that can easily compete in terms of quality of craft and speed and ability to deliver with any other markets in the world, including markets like North America, Europe, and so on. But the cost of living, the forex and all those parameters make South Africa a very interesting destination for cost efficiencies. And so I think that's really how the idea came up in the first place. So all of a sudden, I had to hire, I think, 48 media buyers for social, programmatic, and display and social and search in something like 4 months. But so media was really the driving force in the beginning. But then very quickly, we realized that, okay, media is interesting, but what about content? What about creativity? What about also what is the front and center in the offering of our agency? And I think progressively we were able to show that we are able to deliver and to provide excellent creative thinking, content production, rollout, all your content type that you need usually on digital and social media touchpoints. And so progressively we scale the team that way. And so today, when I look back at the whole journey, we've got a media team, we have a content team, we have an intelligence team, and we are also providing access to agencies all over the network to any sort of capabilities available in South Africa. So not just the core media content intelligence services, but also healthcare potentially, PR, influence, website development, SEO. What we have is, I mean, there is an easy answer for agencies in New York, in Belgium, in Germany, in the UK, in all of those markets. Hiring people as part of our team in South Africa is, per definition, more cost efficient compared to hiring in their own markets. So, I mean, there is already an incentive of doing this from the get-go. It's less expensive. And again, because we have done that for several years, we have case studies, we've got a critical mass. We don't need to convince other agencies of our ability to do it. They know we can do it. So there is that trust. And, trust is now creating more opportunities and bring that business growth. We also have done something, but that's more technical and really only available within our network. But when a market like North America is working with the team in South Africa, they get a 20% margin incentive back into their books in North America. So there is an incentive also for other markets to bring work to the offshoring destination we have in the network. It's a lot of countries in the southern hemisphere. So I'm almost thinking here in terms of time zone. So you've got Latin America on the same time zone or closely related to North America. Then you have Southern Africa and Northern Africa for Europe. And then for the Asian Pacific region, usually you will have Philippines, you will have India. Those are the main destinations. I have been working with talents in India for 4 years now. And what I have seen is, first of all, obviously a very large pool of talents. So I think that's a very big asset for India. It's the number of people that you are able to find. And I think that's very attractive when you need to scale your operation very fast, is that you can really think in terms of volume and batch of people, and you will know that they are qualified and all of them will come with very unique type of skill sets. I see 3 main things to keep in mind when you are an agency, a client willing to offshore. The first one is that offshoring is not going to solve your structural challenge that you may have with your clients or with your company. So what I have seen in the past, just to illustrate on this, is a client or a partner agency in another market who is facing structural problem with a client. And perhaps it's related to the way they have set up the collaboration. Perhaps it's related to the people who have not delivered on the client request. Perhaps it was not the type of client that was suitable for the agency. So there are many different reasons. But what I've been really fighting against for many, many years is to avoid transferring your problems to the offshoring destination. We are there to provide talents. We are there to complement your team. We are there to make sure that you can deliver, but we still need you as a local client, as a local agency. We still need you to make sure that everything you build with the offshoring destination makes strategic sense for your clients in your specific situation. So sometimes I face a situation where people talk, okay, let's put everything in the offshore destination and they're gonna fix it. No, it's a collaboration, and we still need you in your own market to think about ways to improve your collaboration with the client and on top of that, leverage talent in the offshoring destination. So that's number one, is avoiding to transfer your structural issue to the offshoring destination. The second thing is, I think, really about defining the way you want to collaborate with the offshore talents. And the way I'm usually explaining this is by saying you can think of a sort of a line with, on the one hand, things that are fully project-based. And project-based is more a sort of supplier and client type of relationship. So the partner will come to you and say, okay, we need to, I don't know, produce 120 banners or social media assets. You've got 15 days. We have 2 review rounds. Do the work and deliver it. So that's project-based. And then on the other end of the spectrum of the line, you've got that model that we have called fully embedded talents. And here we recruit talent in the offshoring destination to really work as an extension of the team in the local market. And so usually when we work with that embedded talent type of model, we even involve the local team in the talent selection and vetting process, so that we don't impose anyone, because we want this relationship to be long-term. So all of this we put together because we don't want it to be one shot. It's about building long-term relationship and having fully embedded talents that will even complete their timesheets in the system in the UK and be managed by a creative director in the UK, or a media director if we are speaking of media people, or any sort of capabilities. Create any sort of community spirit between people and so on. It's not going to be a very rewarding type of journey. It's just going to be another third-party, provider. In the way we want to work, in the way I have implemented offshoring for my own network, we often speak of dual citizenship. And dual citizenship means that when we scope people to work, as an example, with a client in the UK or in North America, based in South Africa, we really need the local team to think of the team in South Africa as an extension of their own team, and not as people that are sitting 9,000 kilometers away. And so we have developed a whole toolkit, which includes things like very basic stuff sometimes, like make sure that you include those people into your internal communities, your Facebook group, your Slack channels, your Teams channels, and so on, so they can be part of the conversation and be connected to what's going on in your market, what I would call success. And for me, it's very simple. Success is when a local market, again, example, North America, UK, France, Germany, any other markets, enthusiastic and willing to work with an offshoring destination, not because they are being forced, not because we are telling them at a management level, you have to, because we have profitability challenge and you need to reduce your cost, but because they actually see that it can really bring something additional, because they can see the value of working with a team in the outsourcing network. So for me, this is what I call success. This is what I'm trying to do, is again, not just to be executor and be a sort of necessary pain for other agencies working with us. It's really about building that appetite to work with the offshoring destination, because of the quality of the craft, because of the speed to deliver, because of all the efficiencies that model can bring to the local market. So that's really my North Star. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want to be just another offshoring destination, as there are already hundreds of them across the world. I want to be a strategic destination. I want to be able to provide services that are going much beyond pure execution, but really bring value to not just the CFOs or the CEOs, but the mid manager, the content creators, and all those people in the local market.